This is a disclaimer for YouTube. I do have Tourette, so please excuse any swearing in the video.
So this week has been a real roller coaster.
We have had excitement with the arrival of the new bees and heartache with some devastating losses from our baby chicks.
We've got gardening, coop building, strawberry ice cream.
And a wheelbarrow that I'm probably way too excited about.
Way too excited about.
So welcome back. I am Jim.
I'm Lou.
Let's get into it. Boom! So yeah, welcome back guys. We've got Dilly with us here today because she wouldn't stop barking basically.
It's driving us mad, wasn't it? So we've had the 2 new hives return this week. It's been really exciting. It's
really
lovely.
Cool. It's really cool seeing the bees around the meadow and having there's an increased presence of bees on the property and land, isn't there?
You notice them around, and I don't know whether you do it, Jim, but I'm always just like, is that one of my bees? And it's like, is that my bee? But it's lovely. It's really nice to say have another, what's the word, like another animal that's living on the property, I suppose to speak, isn't it? It's like another
more living.
being,
it's more biodiversity.
Yeah.
It's more life to the property, definitely.
Yeah, it's really nice.
We had to do our first inspection, so we thought we would film it. Let's see how we got on.
Yeah. So we had 2 new nukes installed just under a week ago. It's day 5 today, and I'm just going to, with it being a new nuke, the guy we got them off said just to check that there's no swarm cells, and if they are, just to scrape them off with them being put in a new home. It can sometimes confuse them a little bit. So I'm going to start off by taking the roof of the hive off. So in here, I've just got a feeder in here full of some sugar syrup. So I'm going to take that one off next. So I'm now going to just use my hive tool. They use propolis to seal every little area they can. So you just use your hive tool. I think I've got a frame stuck to that.
4 frames stuck.
Oh, fuck. I'm going to need your help here, Jim.
I'll lift it up and use your tool.
I'll smoke them a little bit first.
Yeah,
So, okay, so it is loose. It's just I'm going to have to try and prise. Yeah, just hold it above where it is now, just so I can try and get those. This because it's here, around here, they've built comb to secure like the crown board, which they don't normally do.
You bumble cunt!
There's one. There we go. Smoke them.
Oh, I don't really like these guys. The stings don't hurt you. Stay calm.
They're all right. They're just protecting their home. They're like, what are you doing to our house?
So then I have to do more, yeah?
Is that come off? No, I think it's off now. Yeah, so just place that down here.
Okay, can I?
You zoom in, see if you can get a shot. Beep, beep, bees. Can't.
Let me zoom right in.
So this next frame was a new frame, an empty one. So you can see they're just starting to draw out the comb, build on the wax foundation I put in.
Busy, busy bees.
Busy bees. That's not got anything on this. It's the thing, I don't want to squash them, like, because like they're all around here. And like when you pick them up, you're like, you don't want to put my finger.
What are these at the top here?
They're drone cells. So drone cells protrude more than worker bees. So all the flat ones are worker bees. These capped.
And these big ones, they're still drones that protrude.
They're drones because I think
There's
they're.
the queen.
Where?
There.
Where?
Isn't it? There.
No, that's a drone. So drones are much bigger. They've got bigger eyes and they're much bigger overall. That's why the capped brood is raised, because they're obviously bigger bees. And you see all the little white bits here?
Yeah.
That's all the larva.
Well, we need to really just make sure there's no swarm cells.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's why I'm blowing them away, because they can easily cover them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the white bit was running along my side. That's it. You always, I'm going to have to scrape comb off there, aren't I? Yes, you see where they've built all this comb? That's why it was stuck, ultimately. So we just want to scrape.
Little bang to get the bees off. Look, I don't know why I'm so scared about them. I'm sure
I
this is
know.
going to make us not be.
Yeah.
Because I got stung on the finger, guys, and it didn't really hurt. And I was stung last year. It doesn't really hurt.
It doesn't hurt. It's a mental thing. And for me, it's like when you've got that squeaking buzzing like right around your ear rolls and you think it's stuck close to you. It's a mental thing, 100%.
So how have we done on our first inspection? I feel a lot safer in these suits.
I think, yeah.
Coming down here.
I think if you feel safe, you're a lot calmer, and they do pick up. I feel if you're stressed and you're panicking, it seems to it goes off. So I feel yeah, I feel it went well. We were much calmer, and they're looking good. I mean, they've only been in for 5 days, but I feel they look good. They're happy. There's loads of brood. There's loads of larvae. There's honey stores. Obviously, there's loads of bees. So it's just monitoring them really for the season ahead, and looking out for any potential swarm cells, making sure there's eggs always being laid and new brood being made. So yeah, it's a good start.
Yeah. No, I thought that. And I can feel over the years you're going to become more accustomed to them, and then it will become more pleasant. This has already been a more pleasant experience than the whole of the last time doing it, last season. But you know what to expect. I'm getting, you know, you get better with the bees.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, they are harmless. It's definitely, because there's so many, it's the noise.
They're harmless. They can't kill if you're allergic.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we've been stung enough that we know we're not. But they're fascinating little creatures, that's for sure.
We did actually have a plan, what we were going to show everybody on the bee inspection, but it kind of, as you saw from the footage, just kind of, there was unexpected stuff, and we just had to kind of abandon our plan to do and film as much as we could.
Which I imagine will happen often. It was the frames being stuck to the crown board. I never had that the whole of last year. So I don't know why. I suppose they all do things differently, like all animals do.
Just moving the plants from the conservatory outside. Yes.
Just as usual, the garden's getting busy. I feel like we're watering all the time.
Yeah.
Roping the kids in.
We've not had much rain, have we? I mean, it's been beautiful, but then the cons of that is that there's a lot of watering to do, and we've got a lot of young trees and young plants in that you've got to be mindful of not letting them dry out. So it's copious amounts of watering, and then obviously the veg and everything, they need water anyway to help produce the fruit.
The channel would not be growing as fast as it is without all the love and support from all of you. So me and Lou just want to take this chance to say thanks for all the likes, comments, shares. We've really, really appreciated it. Boom! And don't forget to do it again. Yes, you cheeky bastard.
Yeah, I've been trying, and it's difficult to find the time to do kind of the pretty looking thing, so to speak, isn't it, around the garden. But I've been trying the walkway down here when the kids have come home and I've got a little bit of time while they're outside. I've been pottering around trying to get some perennial plants in that are gonna help suppress the grass and the weeds, because we get so much grass in our flower beds, don't we? And then before you know it, it just looks so messy.
I suppose it's because we got a wildflower loads.
Yeah, it could be.
Meadow, look, we let go of the grass and cedar for years.
And it's a bit of a bugger to get rid of, so I've been trying to find, first it's perennials, second it's perennials that the slugs don't like, because I want ones that are just going to come back every year, prune them once in the autumn, and that's it. They're not going to take much looking after, but they'll cover the weeds and the grass. So I've been kind of researching some plants. They've arrived, they're in little pots growing on at the minute, so I'm slowly clearing the beds, and I've got this image in my head in like years to come what it's going to look like. Whether it's going to look like that, I don't know, but
I'm sure it will. She's very good at picturing stuff like that. Like, I'm rubbish at picturing the end result, but Lou's very good at being able to do that. So
but I'm impatient because I want to see it there now, and it's probably going to take, it'll be probably, what, 3 years, do you reckon, when they're all established and they've been there and they've, so yeah, I'm just hoping it comes out how it's gonna in my head.
And then we've started this week really to try and start tackling the flower bed, which we're going to do after we filmed this. We're going back over to it.
Yeah.
But we've really been tackling that this week, haven't we?
Yeah.
Afternoon, everybody. It is a beautiful day here in sunny Pembrokeshire. I don't know if you've already seen it. We have recently done and released a spring tour for you. So if you haven't yet seen it, Jim will pop the link up here for you to have a look. In the meantime, today we're just finishing the prep for the flower garden. Jim is just behind me doing a little bit of weeding. I made a rookie error. I don't really know why I did it. I covered the bed. It was covered all winter. When we come to do the tulips, I uncovered it and it looked so lovely and ready to plant. I think I got a little bit excited and I left it uncovered. The section for the tulips was minuscule compared to the size of the actual bed. And I kind of forgot about it, and I left it uncovered for the whole of the end of winter going into spring. So obviously now it's covered in weeds, and I've stupidly created myself and Jim a load of work that we didn't really need to do. So here is one of my Farmer Gracie plants that, if you've watched one of the previous vlogs, it's the ones I was growing in the walkway. You'd have heard me talk about them. So they came as bare roots. This is Echinops, and you see they've grown really well. I've got 3 of these, and a lot of the plants that I'm planting out today are Farmer Gracie, but I've also got some cuttings of Shasta daisies and some sedums. Shasta daisies and the sedums they were just in the garden when we arrived. The sedums I saw were putting out new runners, and the Shasta daisy had got really quite bulky. So I took a chunk off it, split that up, I've grown them on in pots, and yeah, they're now at a point where I can plant them out. The key, as many of you will know, is just protecting them from the slugs. So as I'm planting these, they're not too bothered about these, they leave these ones alone because of the spiky leaves, but yeah, the key is protecting it from the slugs because they all got munched last year. Right guys, Jim's not feeling too good. He's had to go in to have a little rest. It is very hot today. Yeah, he's not been good the last few days, and he doesn't want to push himself. So he's going to go and have a little break. I'm just going to carry on planting these last few plants. I've got 3 Echinops out, 3 Eryngium, Joss Aching, however you say it. Yeah, so 6 plants out. We'll continue tomorrow. It's nice to finally start getting some flowers out in the flower garden. So this week's Musings of Jim, it unfortunately has a little bit of a sombre tone to it this week, doesn't it?
So in this week's Musings of Jim,
I want to talk about a mistake that's cost some animals their lives. Where to begin, really? It's a real tough one. It's definitely a mistake that I personally made myself, so that's hard to swallow. But I lost 3 chicks in one night. I went in the morning and there were 3, and I could tell all 3 had been crushed. And so basically what happened is you've got these heat plates, and underneath the heat plates the chickens sit. Now I suspect, because every morning I'd gone in, none of them were underneath this heat plate. Now I say it was a mistake that I've made. It was by the mistake I made was using the wrong tape to secure my outward fan. And what's happened is the ducting has come off and the fan is then blowing. Basically the cold air is coming in through the hole where the ducting was and is being blown around the shed by the extractor fan, which isn't in the wall, it's next to it with ducting going in. Now I came in that morning and we had been having some nights. I think one night was like 19 degrees, so the chickens hadn't really been using the heat plates, they'd been out of it. And that night it dropped down to like there was frost in the meadow, and so it's dropped down to low degrees. The chickens have tried to fight to get underneath the heat plate, and where I've put the heat plates on the side, they've obviously all tried to snuggle in, and 3 have crushed and lost their lives, and I just feel so awful. I could have took precautions by 1, making sure I used the right tape to start with. Parcel tape was never going to be a long-term solution, and I should have ordered the Gorilla tape, and so I'm kicking myself for that. Secondly, I put the heating plates up against the side of the brooder, thinking they were more out of the way aesthetically, I suppose, when really they should have been in the middle of the brooder, and that's a mistake I won't make again, because if they were in the middle of the brooder, it's going to be a lot harder to crush them into something. All of them were dead by that side, by the wall. Yeah. But it was heartbreaking. It's devastating. You go in and 3 animals that you're caring for, that you're in charge of, have died preventably. And yeah, tough musings of Jim, the tough realities of smallholding, and the tough realities of I suppose learning as we go. And I won't be making a mistake again. Unfortunately, they were all 3 that I'd hatched. And again, the meat birds are now significantly larger than my own birds, even though they were hatched on the same day, because the meat birds are genetically predisposed to gaining a lot of meat. You know, that's what they are. And so again, my birds being significantly weaker have ended up getting crushed. So that's a lesson to be learnt. And even though the timings were right to separate into 2 brooders, if I have the weaker or the smaller framed egg layers in there. But all round, quite a tough lesson to learn, guys, to be honest with you. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say other than this Musings of Jim is not quite as light-hearted as previous other ones. But you learn from these mistakes, and I hold my hands up, and I know that, like, while I'm not responsible for the fan moving or the weather, you know, those few mistakes like putting the heat plate next to the wall, not using the right tape when I've connected the duct in, ultimately these have all, and the weather dropping, these have all led to the situation that occurred that night. And now I must admit, every time I've gone over every morning since, everyone's been fine, but I've been worried when I've gone in, when, oh no, is something going to have happened? But no, luckily they're all fine, and they'll hopefully be going out to pasture very soon. Yeah, so that was gutting, guys. I'm still not really over it. It was about 5-6 days ago now. It was last Thursday, so it's the day we actually got the bee, so it's about a week ago. And
it's just a bit devastating, isn't it? Because whilst you know you're going to make mistakes, and you know you're never going to do it again, and you've learned from it, it's hard to know that I suppose you feel a little bit of it's on you, don't you?
Well, it is on
hard.
me. Like, there's no two ways about it. Like, okay, yeah, no, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I should have done this, should have done that, because hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah,
but
you
at
live
the
and
end
learn,
of the
don't you?
day, it was on me, and yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make it easy, does it? Even though you know we know how to make it better, but it's still hard and it's sad.
And since we moved in, every time we've been going to the farm shop to get our feed, I've seen this massive wheelbarrow, and been saving up and been wanting it, and I finally got enough and finally got a new wheelbarrow, and I can't believe how excited I was for a wheelbarrow.
You've wanted this wheelbarrow for so long.
We're having to get, we got a new wheelbarrow, and we're having to get so much feed these days, guys. I tell you what, people, it is hard graft stocking all the food in the shed at the moment, especially in this heat. But let me show you something I'm really excited about. Yes, I've got an absolutely giant wheelbarrow to help me out. I've been wanting one since we moved in, and we finally got one. Happy days. Yes.
And there's just been plenty of odd jobs. There's so much mowing to do, isn't there?
So much mowing.
I've missed Lou mowing, but look, here's the evidence, and the mower's still warm. Yeah.
Lou does a lot of the mowing, and we've just...
Well, my dad does a lot of mowing. We've nicknamed him the mowing man because he's just, it hits a point where it's like every day there's some sort of, you see, between the sit-on mower, the normal mower and the strimmer, there's always one out, if not both, in a day, isn't there? But no, it's there's a lot to do. So I might have said in the previous vlog, my mission for this year is to just get a bit more, is to get on the sit-on mower more, so I can start, help Dad out a little bit, I suppose. But the grass just grows so bloody quick.
It does, doesn't
It's
it?
like it's within a week, isn't it? It's like literally it's every week. So and you have to keep on top of it because it becomes a difficult job.
Yeah, the longer it gets, the more difficult it gets. And we would, perhaps at a later date, we might look at letting the meadow encroach further into the garden or whatnot and just mowing paths, but we're not there yet, are we?
No.
And
with the kids, it's nice to have like a lawn area for them to play. So you've got, the best of, as much as they love running through the meadow, they need like a lawn to play games, don't they? And be out. But yeah, it's just odd jobs. We've got the meat birds, new coop for the meat birds again. It's kind of, it's upgrades, isn't it? Where we're finding that we can do things a bit better.
Or we need, last year we made something and it weren't quite practical. And this year we've decided to make something a lot more sturdy and heavy, and we're trying to get it movable, and if it's not movable, it's going to be stuck up here because it needs to go right down the bottom of the field.
Heavy.
But it's not going to be like movable all the time. The plan is eventually to have 3 pens and move it in between each pen.
Excuse me.
One year it'll be on a pen, the next year we'll move it, and the year after, so you get like a...
And hopefully this one we won't have to really build anything for a long time, will we?
No.
It will last. So it's
going to be suitable for the chickens and the turkeys. So we haven't got much footage, but I'll show you what we've got and where we're up to right now. So me, Lou and her dad have been building this for our meat birds. It is going to be a mobile chicken tractor. It is made of wood, so it's going to be quite heavy, but it's going to be on 4 wheels, and we'll have brakes on it so it doesn't roll. But it's for the meat birds to live on. They're going to be ready and going out to pasture, and what we had wasn't really suitable for all 40 of them and wasn't really good to clean. So this is going to have loads of ventilation underneath, but stop any predators from getting in. Perches for all the birds. They're only going to be in it at night. But yeah, just knocking it together in preparation for the meat birds coming out next week.
So it is Sunday morning here on the Smallholding. Jim has just finished prepping the veg for Sunday dinner. I am currently in the process of making some ice cream. We've had such a glut of strawberries that I thought it was about time we made some strawberry ice cream. I made the custard last night, and I'm just about to pop it in the ice cream maker, so I will show you how it comes out.
homemade strawberry milk. Strawberries, milk in a NutriBullet. I put a splash, just a little tiny splash of this in just to sweeten it up.
The meadow is looking fantastic. We're not going to take you for a walk, but we're going to do a short 2-minute odd montage of just the meadow because it's just such a wonderful sight, place to be.
I think since we did the meadow section, is it last week? It's got, I think more buttercups have come out, and then against the bluebells it's like more of a hue, isn't it? It's like the colours come out just that little bit more, and there's loads more buttercups, so we thought we'd just keep you updated with how that's coming along.
That's all from us this week. Tune in next week to see more antics and frolickings of Lou.
See you in the next one.